Peace, 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 peace. It's me, Furious Black. Once again, you know, we live in this day and time where things are just, out of whack. Too much information is being disseminated amongst the citizens at a level of flood, right? From the beginning, people have been saying, yo, these people tried to do a coup, but they're not putting the proof out. The FBI is holding it back. The CIA is holding it back. So what the hell is going on? You're telling me they just did 3 years of fake news on Trump to the point people believe it, right? Look at this. This says, new, declassified John Brennan notes from briefing Barack Obama per DNI Ratcliffe, alleged proved by Hillary Clinton to propose a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by the Russian security service. It's huge.
Has declassified documents today revealing former CIA Director John Brennan briefed then-President Obama on Hillary Clinton's purported plan to smear then-candidate Trump in 2016, adding to what the National
First, you got to show that these people are willing to do anything.
Intelligence Director has already declassified on this issue and raising more questions tonight about how much more of this will come out before Election Day. Senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel is following the story tonight in Washington. Good evening, Mike.
Brett, good evening. These are handwritten notes from former CIA Director John Brennan, written according to a source familiar after Brennan briefed President Obama. At one point, Brennan writes, quote, approved by Hillary Clinton, a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by the Russian security service. The notes say on 28 of July, in the margin, Brennan writes POTUS, but that section of the notes are redacted. Then it says any evidence of collaboration between Trump campaign and Russia. The remainder of the notes are redacted, except in the margins where it says JC, Dennis, and Susan. That could be referring to former FBI Director James Comey, former Obama Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough, and former National Security Advisor Susan Rice. The CIA sent a memo to former FBI Director James Comey and Peter Strzok writing, quote, the following information is provided for the exclusive use of your Bureau for background investigative action or lead purposes as appropriate. One example the CIA includes, quote, an exchange redacted discussing U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. At a hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee last week, Comey was pressed on what he did with information provided by the CIA.
Did you open an investigation?
I don't know what that refers to. As I said earlier, that does not ring any bells with me when I read that.
You did not receive any investigative referral of this nature?
I don't remember it. I don't remember receiving anything.
So basically, what? He's lying.
Their plan to accuse Donald Trump of being a Russian asset. This, according to U.S. intelligence now. The authorities here, the U.S. intelligence authorities, knew of Russia's knowledge of Clinton's plans. This is before they launched the investigation into the Trump campaign. It looks like this was a giant setup. At one point, Central Intelligence Agency Director John Brennan personally briefed Barack Obama and other top U.S. national security officials that Russia had assessed Hillary Clinton and she had approved a plan on July 26 to, quote, vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by Russian security services. according to Brennan's handwritten notes.
So Brennan said all this. Let's see what Brennan said, since nobody believes the truth. Whoa.
And what do you make of DNI wrote about this Russian intelligence? And what do you make of DNI Ratcliffe releasing them right now?
Well, John Ratcliffe is anything but an intelligence professional. It is appalling.
Which I think is a good thing, right? Because these people swear that they know what is best for the American people. We need to keep secrets from American people so that it doesn't mess up the American dream or whatever they're talking about.
His selective declassification of information that clearly is designed to advance the political interests of Donald Trump and Republicans who are aligned with him.
So?
But these were my notes from the 2016 period when I briefed President Obama and the rest of the National Security Council team about what the Russians were up to, and I was giving examples of the type of access.
So now it was an example. Oh, they might, use Hillary to say that Trump, come on, man. They might use Hillary to say that Trump is working with the Russians. Right. That's what happened.
The U.S. intelligence community had to Russian information and what the Russians were talking about and alleging. Now, if in fact what the Russians were alleging, that Hillary was trying to highlight the reported connections between Trump and the Russians.
Hillary was trying to highlight what was going on in the case with Donald Trump. She didn't cook it up. She didn't approve it or nothing. This is just stuff that happened to him because he was doing it. She was just showing us where to look.
If, in fact, that was accurate, and that's a big if, there is nothing at all illegal about that. And so John Ratcliffe and others are trying to portray this as potentially unlawful activity that deserved follow-up investigation by the FBI. No, it was a campaign activity. But again, I was giving examples to...
It was a campaign activity. So why didn't Comey put it in the FISA so that the FISA board or court would know where it came from?
The president and others of the types of access we had. And I was blind to whether it referred to one candidate or the other. I was blind to whether it referred to one party or the other. And what I might also point out, I know that John Ratcliffe released a memo that was sent over to the FBI. It's called a CIOL, which is a counterintelligence operational lead, which was, again, a very selective release and declassification. There are a lot of other
So basically you're hearing him lie his ass off. That's basically what you're hearing. Whatever was going on, I had to, send my people over so that they can see what's going on. These people could put all manners of wickedness in here, but they can't hide from the truth. I'm sorry, they just can't. Period. They're trying a damn good job, though. Damn good job.
This investigation of the president was corrupt. The FBI and the Department of Justice were politicized and weaponized. And in my opinion, there are only two possibilities: that you were deliberately corrupt or woefully incompetent. and I don't believe you were incompetent. This has done severe damage to the professionals and the honorable men and women at the FBI, because law enforcement should not be used as a political weapon. And that is the legacy you've left.
That was Texas Senator Ted Cruz grilling former FBI Director Jim Comey on Wednesday about his leadership overseeing the Crossfire hurricane probe. Comey, who oversaw the Bureau during the 2016 election up through the presidential transition period, told the Senate he did not know the source of the Steele dossier and that he did not recall anyone ever using the Logan Act against General Michael Flynn. Devin Nunes is the ranking member on the House Intel Committee. He is the author of the new book, Countdown to Socialism. Congressman Nunes, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Good morning.
So first, evaluate the Jim Comey testimony that we saw in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee this past week.
Well, you know, on certain days, James Comey has an intelligence level higher than Einstein. He seems to know everything. He takes immaculate notes. He even takes those classified notes home and shares them with a lawyer. Somehow those notes end up in the New York Times. But then other times, like you would think when you've actually opened an investigation into the Trump campaign in Russia, he seems to have amnesia. He's forgotten everything. And look, and I'll just make this point. We asked him specifically, and all the other dirty cops at DOJ and FBI and the intelligence agencies in January of early 2017, where did this dirt come from? None of them seem to know the answer. And you know what, Maria? Every damn person in that room knew the answer except for the Republicans. That's the truth.
Unbelievable. Well, we want to talk more about this. I want to point out this op-ed that Kim Strassel from the Wall Street Journal wrote last week, and it's called The James Comey Election. And in it, she writes, Mr. Comey personifies what enrages Americans after they have gone through 3.5 years of this collusion narrative. She says this was the crew that in 2016, based on the thinnest of tips, launched a counterintelligence investigation into a presidential campaign complete with secret surveillance warrants and informants. She goes on to say this all took place in Barack Obama and Joe Biden's Washington. Those 8 years also featured plenty of other swamp monsters. Don't underestimate the number of Americans who fear a return to that world. Lois Lerner harassing conservative nonprofits, supervisors at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives losing guns in Fast and Furious, the EPA minions who burned companies with ever-changing rules, and the list goes on. This is why she's calling this the James Comey election. Will the American people understand what took place under Joe Biden and Barack Obama's watch and this plan to take down a candidate and then a sitting president, Congressman?
Well, look, Maria, this may sound a little self-serving, but the reason I wrote Countdown to Socialism is exactly for this reason, that people need to understand the consequences of this election. We are going to go back to what we've been living through, this nightmare. For me, it's been 4 years. You have to remember, I was first briefed on this in September, that the Russians were doing something nefarious, but was never given any information. And now what we find out from the briefings we've recently had, and I know you asked Leader McCarthy this, this is a real problem, that these documents that clearly our government had.
So with the corruption in the government like this, why are we still trusting them? Why are we still trusting them? Please let me know. You guys have all the answers, right?
Legislative branch of government never received these. Remember what I said earlier about that January meeting? Hey, who the hell paid for this? And remember, it was the work that we did, the House Republicans did. We had to fight through subpoenas. We had to prove that it was the Clinton campaign and the DNC that had paid for the dirty dossier and this dirty information. Remember all of that happened? We should have been, they knew about this 4 years ago when myself and Speaker at the time, Paul Ryan, were briefed, and they hid this from us, and they continued to hide it all the way until we uncovered it. But I will tell you, the documents that that are underlying that we now have seen. I've only seen a few of those. They're definitely smoking guns. That information definitely needs to be made available to the.
This is before the Brennan notes came out. Remember Brennan notes? Remember? We're going. I can't read it. Too small. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh, he's selectively putting out information, for the Trump campaign. You fucking liar. There's too much information going on for us to believe the fuck shit that's out here, to be honest.
The American public. And from what I understand, there's even more underlying evidence that backs up what.
All right. At the end of the day, right, we have all this evidence. All this evidence. And we still can't. No arrest? Now the FBI is coming out today at 10 o'clock to say something? They better be saying they're gonna arrest the people that is doing the fuck shit. That's all I know. There was another one with this guy. She interviewed that guy. She's wearing the same thing she's wearing there, but can't find it. They don't want you out of that information. But anyway, that's it, man. Furious Black. Thanks for watching, guys.